Okay, just woke up here in Buenos Aires in my address. Hi there, how you doing? I'm just a little bit sleepy still. If you can watch my face, surely you will find out, sorry, some kind of a suddenly whenever you just have that right moment in the morning that you are not exactly a gorgeous image. Well, suddenly, this is exactly what we got around. Okay, suddenly, this is a very special morning, and I'm sorry for this last days, and I'm sorry not for what in the reality and justice and truth I can suddenly get around Adonai through my person, and however my experiencing and reality took him as well. And apologize for a sensitivity over a lot of people and so much damages around for the reason we understand, right? As this abominable crap insists, which I know they will make it still the same. Well, this interesting thing that a lot of people perhaps wonders all around the world. A lot of people lives about the point of thinking that uh, having dreams while you're sleeping, having those special dreams, like it can be something which brings you some impact, some moment of flashing around, and not like flashing toilet. Sorry, forgive me. This is a very different expression. The flash, but flashing, right? Some people perhaps goes at the flushing toilet around. Sometimes life is like not Adonai, but suddenly in the world you get like flushed around, and not like you to gotta be that, but suddenly some disgusting abomination like we suffer here around thinks that we gotta be, and that they can be the pushed subject for the what they are. But further this, and I'm sorry, the flashing. Well, um, at the point of this all, what we go around, a lot of people thinks that this moments, whenever you have those dreams that impacts you, can be something like somebody can bring you in dreams and sleeping, and you can have those ties and something special, like you can get shock, and suddenly not only shocked, but the reality of you perhaps think that you became in a very gift, in a very moment of life, that you can feel you have something more to count on, and you feel special, and you go to the point of thinking that you perhaps can be some special, selected, and chosen, and that happens. I mean, this recurrent liking way of humanity around, which is cultural as well, happens. The thing is that yes, sometimes there happens that people can get or have, sorry, gift this. My God. And suddenly there happens the reality that sometimes there is something which doesn't has to do with being chosen or just having a gift or being in an extra character or capacity. Sometimes there is people that plays with peoples and makes you an unconscious subtracting over the antlet inhidim, and that plays with your life, and that is dangerous. We gotta be careful, especially these days. The point of this all is inchket in beltichti and botlanigam but anchidi kishmotlena menechtia sachalti benskinan. Gablet gadiem fotlanien at ganamot betganikis ketle betria gabelet gamanchanan. Sketla boti skik andachtli in sem boskotla betganichat aslet idisket en goed dosmontlodi gelubat in a gacheti tikishkatchi. אני מובלט חדי כשנת חד ולצורך לומטרין מלבן חדי חדש ונחד נס אונפונד סחינים. And we gotta be careful about who we ask about what. about doing anything on the spiritual, and even evangelics, and I'm not saying everybody to be psychopaths, and I'm not saying everybody to be criminals, and I'm not saying everybody to be wrong, and I'm not saying everybody to be a mess. The problem is that in these days, a lot of people which try to making something good is chased to murder. Even evangelics, which I call victims, and a lot of other, which pretends to be the heroes, are exactly the contrary. Just the genociding daily in the world. Like I just announced around here, and associated over as well keeps on until this day, making the same still are we. Okay, BLYTT Chadinsky Motleden Chadivansladi. The spiritual is not games, it's not for playing heroes, it's not for the making kantrani. Get gemot betashki at relash en chadisi pontlene menatikas on badcha charasan. Beninay. Geflot chemal betashkiat chemal chat en sachadi inshka chadavantika sachidizim. Gesmot lachinim betania. So suddenly the reality of this is a blototosh inchat and seti sili and insha avalacha asaf nachat. You can pray, and at the time, if you are of the reality of that, is a premonition that people says, or a notice, a warning, or something like we're pre-shown with a character of, with God Himself. Sorry for this. This is not a BLYTT. Shet kamalcha inski tenisha. Sorry. With God Himself, you can understand where is and what where about that you precognited, pre-knew for the reality of the future will happen, or suddenly immediately, inmediato, Argentina, immediately, English, sorry. En dat het die spot lemet geneem lechticha sapadachti se in matlemenechticha sapnidinski ber in katnachasi sibilim. So suddenly you can block him a bedasi of it nachachat la intikeski chaasim. Lemet radium fot ledashki adrecha, and you can find out about this so clearly, forgive me. I share a breakfast with you, if you allow me. Suddenly, you can hear a lot of people said, "Ovlen tramalentiveski at hatishin shacha anasimi nikat hanimelatishko panchato von hasinim bel antikaya." Iskat letrabeletim fa as atrechti sahat ishli dichna chasasiminetika oblet tramalachti shahatat. And ever you read at Yeshua law, Lochtum and Eskop Atrichidis and the Unshur Ma Antrenin. Garinasi Gida Alach and Outlet Angel Inskidach, Tiga and Zis Midikta. Gelch Tabelat Hadishki Mapeletach Dachna Halinti. Gabletratish Kat and Nasochlia Arachim, you will see. Because of Adonai came above him while he were in the rest. And at the reality of his life, Adonai gave him a very moment of Inshkadi Inchim. So whenever that is, this is what this abominable crowd are seeking all around permanently, to trying to use and trying to confuse and manipulate and making the whole generations that they says, let's make the word of God, we are going to win. With brain and bodies. Well, the reality of this Sodoma is exactly but something that so suddenly you see on the Kefa word 4 chapter 4th you are going to read a very interesting thing which relaxes about this on the real adventure of truth. Yes, I know. Which I said since the beginning. Alright. Getrente verlaten من السياسة تختيسي إن بولتموشمان إن خدين. Gelema Tranin. And in Torah, there is the Ol Shtichiti bi en Shnuch Duvad Nadat Leinka Echitash and Ochler Timish Kitrin, where you can find out a very special Ginche in Shenchi when Adonai acts by this ways. So you are going to have a guide for you to understand when there is a cheating and when there is God. And there's not like a gift, you have a blot malchani, you be careful. Don't you let people play with you. Already destructions and genocides in the world were too much like for you to giving yourself over this. Well, about the realities of this all and there comes also that you see he's going to speak about this. Still the machinery of the degenerates, evangelics and witches of Christina Kirchner. Genocider, criminal, psychopath, degenerate, manipulative of masses like Peron, how great crap were the school of it. Opportunist, manipulative, brazen son of a shit. Sorry. Perdón, Adonai. Perdón, gente. I'm sorry, Israel. I'm sorry, people. Well, the reality of this soul and that comes to talking about unconscious. Unconscious and mental health pathologic. Forgive me my Carancho thing. I'm just woke up and oh my god, I will liking to have a very special shower around, which I am not cozy, but suddenly I'm just woke up and that will be really good to have a shower. Well, further this. There is the unconscious thing that supposedly the mindest ever sinister around. Comes for the indilski bot anged lidik, says the mental health respectable, and for the bot tumutinskat na matani, the ones that I suffer every day with, spends all the day deliring. Everything passed by deliring, schizophrenic, psychosis, megalomaniac, bipolarly, paranoia, and substances consuming disorders, and everything like maniac persecutor, and everything to make the trick trade of the day with Sodoma and powers. Oh yes, give me the lake at the I want to sail on the lake with a very yacht, and I want to have my shake at the shore and the Bentley at the door. I'm going to do anything you ask me, even if you want my sons, come and put it in then. Be your pleasure, but give me what I want. This is forensics, Argentina, and justice that I am suffering every day. But I'm the one to know, let me! So be death, so I have my delirious and on the figure of her vagina, or dem rectum. Such a nasty shit, right? HTTPS www. ¿Cuán prostitutas son las tituladas del oficialismo y asociados argentinos? Point INT, F9, OS recall, last key, quit cleaner in my account, and last bleed, ISIS in New York. And nobody ever knew that. Todavía no se dio cuenta, todavía no lo notó, le estamos haciendo 3 causas y le estamos haciendo 8 más, y todavía no se presentaron cuando se los citó. No my mother, nor I, nor anybody were appointed. And not ties, but put them in jail because of they declined and said, no, we are not because of you are making net blah, 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 blah. Did I ever say anything? Did I ever say at all? Cristinita, prostituta del infierno. Well, sorry for this. Forgive me. רבת חמלם וידפנת רינה מלפם תחידישין חדלן סיקות לנמת חדידן שחרים. So, the reality of this. Sometimes, recreationally, there says, but it is not recreationally, the same synapses makes a bottle and empty gashninachti discharges. And whenever something comes to the mind on the character of processing a blood from a there is like a one speed complementary dictionary. The people just dreams, and you have a dream based in the what you projected over needs and over longing and over whatever you ever felt you had to embrace, or simply living or possessing and loving, and much of times it's not that. The character of this, whenever this is something like you in your own person try to deliberate the unconscious like a recreation for the Amplidishminachti and Khatanshki and Batcha is a normal character of the foundations for the Lensanishka. You seek the way to realize and concrete those things that you love and realize about them and realizing everything that you long in life. So the reality of this is like an engine in Kotlemetchanin and engine, sorry. Otlemetchin dishka dikli kotlamiti and anshkimot lenemenachti chachim. You are a very expertized in the need for you to go ahead about your own. So suddenly you try to inside you try to make a match and you try to get the blanchani. There is a normal anybody's pattern. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, but the reality is you need to be completed. And the fulfilled life is a very normal denski modla denski indeed. It happens. There's nothing like and what we say psychopathy is or pathology. Oh, because of his not sleeping. Give them tablets, gotta sleep, gotta sleep. Gotta sleep, gotta sleep. You have right to then spend nights with no sleeping, and whenever you will realize that you need to rest and you need to go back at your normal states, you are going to sleep your own. But don't you put in risk yourself. Be conscious about what you do. Because of sadness and acts like that and got angry. Bipolar is totally sick. Sick than most darkest ever hidden disgusting places that sun won't ever shine ever at all. So everything of this class delivers into sick. I have my duty and my responsibility. I understand. Everybody submitted at my making. I have a business to take care of. So this is what we got. They need to suppress, heal, and destroy everybody, especially us, and especially me. The piece of a meat for they to be glorious. Divine devil of hell. With the best. With it's not best. Anyway, spiritual. Well, Adonai Hashem. Sorry. Gat Hamad Bet Hamelen Vitaski Ben Hanim Elashachadisin Hidim Bet on the Ekaltachtish Ebachti. So the reality of this soul delivers into Vlotram Bet Hanidish Kidicha, das Insid Initak Ikimini Chachidim Islenka. So, at the point of Latchamal Bet Hamelevin Tashki Atachad, get Obol Tranemelevin Tashki Dachachad La Nesikim. Get Homol Bet Hamelevin Tashki Bet Hanemelem Fotla Diachad Sachad Le Deshechet Katla Dimenachadan. Ot Lebet Hamelem Fotla Diachad Shechat Nasesimat Nemenefachanik Namanada. Get Robot Blet Hamal Bet Hamel Vent Hadish Kimat Panechemala Fentridish Katachli Sasefot Nomanetish Ketcha. And suddenly that is what happens. But suddenly from a tradition for the method and had a shahirim. So BLYTT diashki anja inshidi viltat of mufal anjat sontical. Okay, and I had just a trim here, and I have a lot of trims in my life that I can share now. Your Honor, ICC is agreed for I to show and I to tell my supposed delires. And also a lot of people which I were telling around while this were happening, since my children, to my family, to friends, to a very forced therapist, not like I needed, but the suppression for the handle and dealing with the situation of this maniac, abominable murderers, genociders, psychopaths that scandalizes on the less contromalvedachni that makes the inspirant ledachni and shachat for the whole that they has in powers and career and possessions. And a hell of disgusting humanity of abomination that says that they gotta be the ones to know on the most ever corruptive, abominable, misappropriating formation, pretending to be mental health, and no respects about nothing and nobody, and capable to murder a whole nation for they to remain, with the career, the title, and the possessions, and the humanity, and the name, saying, I am the star. Like Leicester and the consul, medical consul, government of the city of Buenos Aires, Cuerpo Médico Forense, Forensics Corp, Argentina, and Alvear, which are murdering people still with, this is going to make him feel you better, come over, and disappear, oh my god, and there's nobody else to see you and nothing else to discuss. And I just poured all over my tea. Whenever I get violent and I get nervous, I got oh, needs medication. That's what we're talking about. Whenever he gets violent and nervous, he makes a disaster, attacks everybody. Well, the point of this all attacks everybody. That's what they do. With the, it's gonna making you feel better, come over, and disappears, cuts them in pieces, and nobody else knows about nothing else about no justice officers sending no orders for they to present for a perpetuous, says here, chain, and keeps on making the same circus and military Sodoma degenerados argentino and argentino Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. Officialism with them, of course. Well, het gemodlet gemodedaski wat nadachtichi si idita lech madachtiansa anchanem wat libotakim. And that is what happened. That's what came to be. Spotle meta divina shifat ledachtian chadams, spotanima. So suddenly, so I'm going to get here. My goodness. It is a mess. It is a mess. So, at the point of this all things I were talking around, it's just worth saying the reality of this all. Dan het blad gemalti was and I came on having a very long time dreams. But I were a kid, and I were living in Ciudad Vita, Buenos Aires province. There is a very La Matanza county, like it here calls Partido. And this place that changed name like 8 times. Ciudad General Belgrano, Ciudad General Güemes, Ciudad General Maria Pepa, and Ciudad de Vita, hero of the Nazis. 2 million Jewish families murdered here in Buenos Aires and Argentina. And she making trades with Peron, degenerate. And not only them. anyone like this, which will ever be disagreed with them, no job, no life, no nothing, and also death. Permanently the same, disgusting hell shit and telling for the patriot, turret and tears. Well, the reality in Votlamal Betramalian Fotladian Shachatalan Hadisimi Talam Betrani Melechim, non counting of course, non counting with the criminal disgusting the generations that permanently done. Peron and Evita and this disgusting shits here. Well, sorry das. Betramel Betrani Melesti Fosledi Hinitana Heledi Bin Shomat Lenemenach Tachadigi Melaitika, Al Betramel Betrana Bedashifot Ladatiach Atanchi. So suddenly this came to be like and while I worked here in that house, which were a disaster, and really disaster, in the middle of a family that were in ignorances, in bed raisal, in so much pain, damages, and having not a good time. And a lot of things happens that I'm not going to tell here openly. Suddenly happened the unthinkable. I were sleeping right in a room that I used to be in, very pieza we called bathroom. And this bathroom had a very small other room right beside, which used to be in the services room in a very old-fashioned Spanish style chalet. So suddenly, over this house, I were sleeping right over there around, and I remember it had these windows, this wooden outer windows in two pieces, two closing, sorry, and having the security, with this rhomboid cavities, right? Suddenly had three, each piece of the window, each shade of the window had three up, three down, and the other. And suddenly through this, we say hojas de la ventana, three shade of the window. So suddenly this rhomboid forms used to giving the light inside. And I remember I were inside this room. And inside this room, there used to be a very and the same style, the one. And this had a very really taller, and at the feet, the shorter. And suddenly I remember that I were in my dream, dark inside that same room that had a very armor inside of the walls, all wooden built, and really amazing. Which I remember this, and I had like a recurrency over 7 times the same this dream over my childhood. I remember myself being in that just single bed, and I remember myself so small, so kiddo, and the lights coming from the rhomboid, from the outside through the rhomboid figures in the same windows, wooden windows, were like violet dark gray, like something which dies, agonic light. And I remember that I put up my gishketri, my feet, right, trying to reach out from that same armor at the walls, a very I saw it like a blue-violet train, a toy that I wished to playing with, and I were trying to making my best effort to trying to reaching out. And suddenly, while that were happening and I were about to taking it, so tall, place, so high place, sorry, so tall, the whole of the Bet Hamaltin suddenly I remember that I had this feeling, and whenever I were about to taking, I saw from out of the bed coming a very snake. To coming right like a circle, like a tinshki batani upon me, and watching that I just jumped back and at my back, falling up on the mattress, the backs, and watching the very big mouth with a very fangs like this, a very violet, big, damn nasty, grossy shit of a snake, and just woke up 7 times. And I can tell now, like I said, to also to a psychodiagnostic professional of the American hospital. Before this health crap to say, oh, I had it first, and terse. That while this happened, I never knew how came this to be and what were that all dreams about, those things around. The idea that further that will ever processed at my person and in my moment like a nightmare. Never thought that will ever bring a reality over life. So suddenly you can free associating, but at the longest ever moments you just watch out and you see a very fat, big, disgusting snake trying to kill you whenever you try to reach out your wish, your dream, your liking, your need, your moment, what you long and need and wish and expect inside. And the menace over you go and I kill you. I have a very big, disgusting, gross, damn shit of a fag of snake all over this damn shit of a country, the burden of the victims and innocents, and for it, so longer making me this, trying to reach out my dream, my long, my need, and come with the threat of the murder. But the problem is not just about myself. So I see Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, Cuerpo Médico Forense, Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández, Oficialismo, Menem, Caballo, Policía Federal, Metropolitana SPD, Gobierno de la Ciudad de Buenos Aires, Guillermo Payne. Such a big piece of a fat, disgusting, gross snake. Right? With associated. It's permanent. And well, this happened and I can see it now. All at longer. And suddenly the reality they are of the hell, yes. And there is not the ancient serpent, there is the Anshkibikachniti serpent. Snake. Satchomel blet ramal betanski evelensky shafat laneti achat chadidinsky mat leshpot anchat nisim. Eletri kamat renamel betrane velesikiadias etredechta saheso blet amaleventishki kan. Al blet amaletrechi besanfelenti koshmanachachim. In dalki tremalevin tradias kotlam felchadas anchadidika. And I saw myself in the same room, but in a different all-over watch. I saw this old beds in Botlanet Rayaski and Shumotlari like a pedestal, like an altar. So white conclumus hadien, the right violet dark agonic light. In so ventrame Bethany like fading like in gray, black. But ventrame through the rhomboid forms at the window. And I slept at the right side of the marriage bed. And I see myself face up with my hands like this beside the two sides, and not moving at all and couldn't move, like frozen. And suddenly I see something at the start of fearing, and fearing, and I see a very honestly and over Mazan Kahosov. And this one taking the round all from the left side until the place that I were, and coming all siding and surrounding the bed. And when cats over me puts its finger right here, and I felt Ashlit Anshnetfin and I woke up. I had this dream twice, the same one. Otle tashki ben tradisi moplenati en skadachti chidis asset lotamo and chadles netilin keki ashma achtachi. This is something that I don't want to share and I won't share. This is something private. I have my institution with Adonai. And my institution with Adonai I'm going to keep with Adonai. And it has nothing to do with no my love and no other will suffer about this. Because if we are talking about Ivinshes Inchat in Zin. But this is reflected on other kind of things. And Adonai is going to putting this in order so somehow. And the reality of the Bet Ramot Betranim El Sivit Hashgedi Achta Chasisem Blatim Betkinim. The time just passed by and kept on passing by, and this degenerates were playing on dreams and off of dreams all over my life. Sikkel dem Shede Harsit Argentino Sodoma and them bodies since my 5. But these were not the names. Så trebel tramelen tidiski matlede chibot lanati en chadash molati afadachna onso klikte. Eblet remeshite fadachti en sachal onso votna anchaninaya. Kel shoet chabat chanichidingsi kalten anchadini. So suddenly there came this reality and this point of blot remafidishkat en echticha sahalim, where the BLYTT thing taughtness and him. And I'm going to tell 3 more dreams. And I remember, I were in a very destruction and a very damages. And I slept, and suddenly came this. I saw myself in a very house with a very agonic light inside. With a very like an old betradi cold very spaces in with a very gray to cream pale green walls in a very wide door with all crystal in puzzle. Very 2 pieces open at the side of inside like chambers of the house. A lot of kids right below watching what happened. And to this side of the doors I see the same Lucifer, one that represented the supposed friend, and I lying ground in the floor, sorry. And this too, I'm going to say another else. And this too, Lucifer, my supposed friend, making a very poker game. And whenever there were the turn on saying, what do you choose, your life or the kids? And there were the choosing my life. I had a very pain in the sexuality and in the sex organic. And a very pain while these games came on happening over there to play my lives. Spotleten tiens monetien gedespulen tirishmia tradetia veletra tasho van achtahan. Geldobot en Emily Vintaskia Veteski en Velachti en Gadashi Nisti Malpahan. Galchotas en Gini. And also Interpol knows I had this dream. I supposed being a terrorist and I was saying everything to my family and friends, and they heard who said first and who did first. Aprenabelensky Tishkatanach Asses Ivilita, but Uncle Lucas Meet Even Tashki Haring. This happens every day, but I'm not saying Israel and not my real friends. And neither am I. It doesn't happen slowly. The betrayer, the liar, the manipulator, the one that he is not beside you, that he uses everything of you to having benefit and trying to get something on own interest. Spotland Tremenen Fidishki Batanachti, he insolent Rabashki van Chachara Naharan. El Tramadit finish for Nachari. Skettlemaniaga. Well, here insists the sin. He is stolen, he had taken the money off, and he made them this, and he guesses. Well, and suddenly I remember this. After that insane slept moment, just comes to the other side, where I were now. In a very ground built cave-like, with a very latnishniti cutlery in the same ground of rock. And Robel Tremeniski Ventralia very light and Fortneleshki Nachtaria like mines, weird but similar. Red Tomol Bletanskini, and I see an angel in front of me. And I remember its wings were big. And I remember that Lotremel Tigesh Matranchi and a lot of people around. And one up and other down. And I see a very sword. And those like you remember the Knights ones? Really heavy with that Lemetranichri steel like you say you break nothing wrong. And Ot Lemetra Melchani, the Shmotlari, discussing with the angel. Ot Lemetra Melchaniya. And I see the sword and I said to the one, put it in my hand, give it to me now. Give it to me now. Not Khamal Khadi, give it to me now. Without this to realize. Trying to hiding, ready to jumping up on the son of a shit and putting it in pieces. And that's what I like. I love it. The spotlight of Khamal Bedashi and Khadachni Khinim, Berlani Menachim. That's what I live for. Between much other. Scott Lebet Ramal Vedachni Shachat Metrani Benecha Shachat Machinim. Pietramol Vetramal Ventrigishki Matmana Menachti and Charinkim. And Interpol is well known about that. I'm gonna say this other. Suddenly, Gosh Betramal and Khadi about this, and Piletramal Eshkandi happens all the time. Have a nice permanently about my person. But whenever my time to come, I'm going to use that one. I'm going to enjoy so much. Spot letter hiniti malsheri hini kanat manini and suddenly I see myself on the art, on that old bed of dictionary. And suddenly I watch at the feet of the bed and I see a hole, the Ventrani, underground with a very columns of ground and rock and a very tall divinity, all ground like humanity and all grossly disgusting at Muhammad Khadi's expression all over the ground. Muhammad Khadi like trampled on this bed Muhammad Khadi. And I see women and a man walking in the place and making the generations, abominations, and all crap, and the women were naked. And I see that, and I see a block witches, sorcerer, magician, Kotlenet Chabal Chada, Galmeni Ashkamati, evil destructions of generations, murder, Gibli Damladenish Kidachni. And when that happened, I see this woman sees me and the son of a snake, Kirchners, and Glotmat Hanidias of Latradechidisiki, Ejercito Argentina, or Mother Argentina, sends those two to climbing up and trying to reach me out with scissors and knives. Klotram Alvidaski and Madrania Khadaski, Simon Bottom Alvinafti and Khadasni. Spodlenachani, Katlemetrani, I see up on the mattress, up on the bed, a very gardener's scissors, and I opened into pieces, and I kept for the war. Kotlemet Rani Melchani, they kept on Melchi defensive, and Skotlemet Hanad. And I just wake up. Slet Ribin Tajeshorach Dimalchani, it's every day in this war we're having. They live what they are for and about. The generation's profanation, witchcraft, abomination. And every time they try to suppress me and saying, oh, come on, you are going to feel better. And much older, like, oh, you gotta be in jail, oh, come and blow it. I come and I put those Getlinetretzisi blazes in Sesmotlani Echtachachim. And they, how do I fight you? Yet Chamal Bet Chamal Betensky Mapani Chenim, it is permanent. I know who they are in the map I am. And nothing is missing in me. And the people dies, saying that I am guilty because if I don't kill him. Spot plene menachidi vintradi en shafot lemetrani chidi shivit. Koet redav chades en charidin. Empire of Christina Fernandez de Kirchner, Nestor Kirchner, and officialism. This is what they are. Spot letter Emily Chidishka, Interpol already also knows about this dream. I had it. Scott Pradesh Shabbat Chachid Isim Beleti Kamanachachim Entramobet Hamele Fidashki Modelecha. And suddenly there comes this order. I am suddenly walking and I see a very wide avenue, so wide avenue. Weird avenue. Skat Havol Tremel Vidinski Matladechi and Salat Midika Espot Tatancha Ansik Midi. Get Obletrani Meskitashki Vet Anchat essentially. There is like if there will be Buenos Aires, but ain't no Buenos Aires. But the thing is like Argentinian Sorona are in the picture. So suddenly, Betchalma Betra Malfinashki, there is like a very garden, paradise avenue, all very glowing all behind, and like a very Chadash La'am Chavichi Chaydinim, glowing all over the Tzatlamatani Statli city. And I see the Pradep Fotlamatani Chedaskina Pradesh Monachti, suddenly, like in the US, the fire got Ladishki Chati. Fire, man, Gotlemathanemeneski Tranenachtachi, Plaktika, and pouring water to out in a very loose and getting wet all of the Adan Kutlet Radiashtachi, and people going and coming like in a peace of mind, like a Gotlemathachi, and never understanding. And suddenly sees up the back the whole of the Denskotasnira Chadash Monuti, Geldrachi, Katlenachi, like if there will be covenant. There are the whole of the profaned and raped and murdered of the Sion and Israel. Over that Tritishkat Nebechechi, profanity of Kilishminachi, and profanity of the And Tritishkat Nechari, I see a very brown horse. Which brown horse of the Lenchot Ari Torah is the Inshketrichi Binski and Bachni, come from the Belchanis leaves and flushed with the color of the dusk of Ansachi, Merlot Veski Matlatin Pesach, that the men could recognize in this time. Oshlut Vinkatin Matri. And there Livon Tradeski Motladachtacha, I see one of these brazen Sodomaki that generates with a very endless scrutiny, and riding the horse in two paws, and the horse having its phallus up erect, and pouring up insemination all over the avenue, while running in two paws, to the whole of the view of the whole of the people, while people amazed, shocked, watching around what were about. This is not for ICC, this is not for the people that fights for the well and for the best. But suddenly it is the happening still now, which already said, and the reality of this dream, and people already knows it were in mind as well. And I remember that I had this weird dream, this weird abomination I saw. And it was Sodoma writing justice name. The horses for Adonai represents justice, but one thing is the justice of Hashem, other thing is the justice of Menorah, other thing is the justice of the anointed, or the Buddha for the justice of the name of the justice itself in truth, which Adonai is about. And other thing is the justice of the Echad. So suddenly there comes the point of this soul. Sodoma writing the name of justice and provoking the abomination, inseminating abomination all over the sites leaves and pretending people to understand that yes, real and capital. Suppressing and submitting the name of the justice until the point of the abomination they are. And this is what in a lot of places we suffer. And this is from Adonai. Also, with Shkat Navi Ilachini Ilishkamet Chachavim, Otlevet Hadashki Matlevet Ilachti Achatashkim, Kapimot Hamaniet Hanidashki Potlanati Ashachat, Ziri Bit Hamaldiet Potlandiashkot Achat, and Siviniki, Galuach Tahasi. Isaiah 68, which ADD in Torah about the found, archaeological found, prophecies of Isaiah that were not published for so long. And suddenly and I just had another dream, weird one. I slept last night. I supposed to be all around and in jail and blowing all Sodoma the generates that are doing what I just said, all around here permanently, with Cristinita Fernandez Kirchner and Anibal Fernandez, which they enjoy it. Give it to me, give it to me. I put down and you put it all over. I am with you. Perverse not by me, the right picture, the right truth. And the reality of this soul in Bethlehem Bet Chani Melechim Sishem Melechti Achat Chadim Beleti Kamanashem Blochen Chadalenti Kaya Otle Mechamal Bet Ashviat Chadis Inchidim, while keeps on murdering people all around. And not for I said, but for they to not lose control and to not lose what they says gotta be dance. Abominable, disgusting, praise and share. That's the way they died. Sorry, Adonai, for the things. Okay. And suddenly the reality of this soul in Betamon Vedachti. I just were sleeping while my love from another wrong place. So much sleeping and I said, kiss good night to my love. With Adonai. Am I supposed to lie rest? And suddenly I just had this dream. I see myself in barracas never had, which were different at barracas. Actually seemed to be like Park of Patricios, but it were barracas. Very different, weird place, a woman living in a very container bar, one side thumped. Says Lot Hamalchinim Hamod Vetaskimot Lana Menachim Tradish Katran Hadisikim Menachim Skletikish Monachi Belecha Sansaledigash Kanachachi Idi Kalbenachti. So suddenly there were this door and just you seen the whole of the containers roof right in the Pletikish Kimotledechi to the side of the whole importantly like a corridor between a very wooden and suddenly a very weird place like in Pasminat Tachadia. There were not a favela and there were not a village, there were not a Pontlichi, there were a very like a Toski Motminich, which ain't nothing like this existing. This is a very old Hadishamat Achudus Ovadim Tikal Hadash Notik. The meaning of this image in Ber Ochtachni as in Ishka Chudi in Anachti. There is the ways of the nothing possible can normally be found, but the survival of those that can make us better for themselves to keep alive. Stroet Ramel Chadish mitafel chat esensi mithalaki, onshket Ramel Chadish imoklameni echafat nanachtia, so erchabalchi inshkedich sahasim. Kotlemetradecha. And suddenly I see this, they call this Berlinese, which Sodoma used to using all the time, permanently, in a very blue color. And this one's like I came out of a very visiting some people with my mother. We were inside of a weird house into Blends, in a very dark place inside, in a very weird feeling, but some related, like familiar and right around those local teams here. And suddenly, there happened the time in and I come on the wide avenue, and those two generates while I were walking with my mother, which where we were going away. I see this pastor and I see my sister Graciela. And this crossing in the middle of the way saying, you come here, come over here now. Give me your documents, and where were you and what are you doing here around? That you don't have to be in the streets. Come over. And suddenly takes my DNA and retains it and touching me. What do you have in your pocket? Tell me, what is that? And I see 702 pesos that I got. All right, you are making crime. This is not the block of Al-Khani. You don't go away from here. And somehow I just move away, taking my mother, and my sister goes, and we leave. And we appear in that container by the side of Lefidishkanakahi, and I see the whole of the Onshmut Ladinchad and Shmut and I see myself on Lefidishkadachihi, and I go again to the saying, give me the money back. And suddenly see the Koltraneshia Chadem Likadin Shachadim, and the sons of hell kept my ID and my money, which happens all the time, but I still have my documents, but this is what they live for. And pretending we to be arrested and imprisoned, with the whole of the Anshukub that Hamidish Katachachim at the hand of us. And making a block in Emenesi from Khalid, and suddenly I come again at the night of the place, and I see the night lights, and I see the whole of the Ishkadrachidi like and empty with no cars around except a 10 BFA van and some patrols and a lot of people watching, and the degenerates making still the hunting people around, which happens all the time here around and in the world. But there's tension. And this is a very weird thing because of the physical place I never seen, and it ain't exist here around. And the reality of the this is, they are making the self-percent in the States, and they are saying that they for them in the States, and they goes to kidnap and rape and murder in the States. Still, they did and they will. Strop de training tigas kading gedaan met traditie en belating over dat show of het gedacht nemen. Sketle bet van Egidishia belating kading en graag in Pika altijd van gedaan. Christina Kirchner-Caven, the chair of presidents in a trade with Sodoma Argentina, and that's what they are about making here. This can be possibility to putting dead the whole of the Sodoma that generates this and making something, but Christina Kirchner came on trading this for so long. She will go like a hero to the government of the world and playing the star, the lampy-faced prostitute of Lucifer. My master at Rachel, the beast, will make me the queen of the heaven, and I'm going to be happy with everything I've done, and I made me what had to be done. I justified myself, have my whole money, the $81,414 million that I stolen, hide them that nobody will find except I. HTTPS www Víbora degenerada, la muerte le vino, .int, F8, my last key, my side, with a cleaner, recall. Last plate, ICC, thank you Tony. Amazing. With the whole of the topic and with the whole of the detail, you know. And the reality of this soul and and to kill them all, do whatever you gotta do, take whatever is useful for you, bring them all here, rape them all, and make the job. We ring, of course. And praying will play the start of the whole of the Lord says, and I am the abomination will make the job of the Mephachim, and I'm not going to let them easy. Delire is schizophrenics. Oh my God! Pick it up now! Delivered in an intonation! This medication, nothing on this can be happening, and we know because we know this all along the road. This through long years we were studying it, and we weird than fat snake shell out. Delirious sickle worms pretended of upright reality healed and right healthy behaviors and realities of the human. You tear the sons of shit of the hell with the bottom of the board and like that. שגת חמלתי מהסיבות לדחידי כמעט לנמנה שיפת אחת עוד חבלתי נתביש כמעט הרחתיך אנססי מקלים. So this is the reality of this, and I'm sorry my friends, which are not proper, for the name of Yahweh, Yeshua Elohim, for the name of who I am, for the name of Moshe, I love you, for the name of Allah, precious, I love you, and for the name of everyone I love. Sion Israel, precious of Adonai, I love you all, and I'm sorry this. Understanding what Adonai chances and how Adonai does. And Hashem to help us all because of what we know will be. We will never let go that easy and without right struggle fights to make survival. Adonai to be with us and just to give the Hashem reigns, which will be forever. I am at this, April 16th, 2014, Alejandro Mario Blanco REDEMI, here is Buenos Aires, my address 1147, and the complete technique, https www. ¿Podemos creer alguna razón para decir que esto que yo digo, dice la menorca, sea mentira? .int, F12, OS recall, the same like before, with cleaner last key on my side, last plate access in New York, 1147 still Buenos Aires. The hell of the Argentina and the blessed heaven of Argentina, the ones that we know and we love, at the name of Yahweh, and Yeshua, and Baruch Elohim, the genuinely truthful one.